This 123 acres was owned by the county, and a Mr. Everard, who was on the county board, thought it would be a great idea to reforest it. And the idea was that they would build that log cabin over there and use work-release prisoners and put them out here and put them to work. It would be good for them, they'd be fed, they'd have a job, and when they were done with their time, they could go back out into the community and be proud of something they did. So at that time, Harry Barth was hired and his wife Aurelia. They were only here a year and her husband died of a massive heart attack. Now this little woman went to the county board and convinced them that she could run the reforestation camp. So she's taking care of 20 prisoners and raising 3 daughters.
Aurelia Barth is just a great lady. Back in the 50s, there was some hesitancy, but she was able to do it and did it well for many, many years. She was the first woman in the country to be in charge of a penal institution.
So now they lived in that log cabin, and she fed the prisoners, and they cut wood and helped plant trees, and she had the county board come out here and they planted more trees. She said, wouldn't this be a beautiful place for children to come and visit?
Gradually, the county saw that they wanted to have a bigger park, and I think that she enjoyed nature and walking in the woods and all of that, and she wanted other people to have that opportunity.
If I look at our main goals, would be recreation, forest management, and habitat enhancement would be the primary goals of this property. Those haven't really changed. In the 40s, they started to found the zoo. There was some recreational nature trails on the property. So some of those things still exist today, but today, as uses and needs of the community change, now we're into a lot of different things. Now we have horseback riding trails, we have mountain bike trails, we have snowshoe trails, we have cross-country ski trails, snowmobile trails, campground, the zoo is more developed, there's an adventure park on site, and a number of other things. So again, recreation has always been our core mission. We've just added to it over those years. Now we're managing that reforestation that they created those 70, 80 years ago. And what we do today is we do it through sustainable logging means. So we have harvest cuts out here. We're not in it for the revenue, we're in it for the habitat and the forest health, and that's really what we do.
So we have quite a bit of diversity when it comes to topography and habitat types here at the Reforestation Camp. So we have some very low swampy areas that hold water most of the year, but then we also have some high dry areas. But that does make way for different prairie plants, such as I see some milkweed back here. Some of these sandy areas are also home to some rare orchids. The sandy soil also is used a lot by coyotes. There's a lot of coyotes that will build dens. Sometimes they'll even build them right alongside the trail.
We're here in this 1,600-acre park. We're out in nature. You go out in our woods here, you can see bears and badgers and fishers and all kinds of amazing creatures. And then you can come to the zoo and see animals from other parts of the world. So nature all ties together out here.
I have been here now for close to 16 and a half years. I actually went to college for animal stuff. I studied wildlife ecology, but always loved animals. When I was a kid, I thought maybe I would want to be a vet, but then the older I got, the more things I did, I realized that I really loved educating people and seeing how excited they get when they learn about animals and get that chance to connect with them. Come inside and meet our giraffe herd. We've got 3 giraffes here at the zoo. Eddie is the tallest, up at the feeder there, and then we also have Zuri and Nigel. So here at the zoo, we actually feed a multitude of different things to the giraffes. This is one of Zuri's favorites.
The zookeepers develop very close, very strong relationships with these animals. Again, most of these animals were born here or in another zoo, have been around people their entire lives.
I thought you might come over. Hi, buddy. Nigel's our good boy. The Association of Zoos and Aquariums is a nationwide organization that sets standards in the zoological industry. And when I say set standards, I'm talking about pretty much everything you can think of when it comes to having animals living in human care. So they set standards on how habitats are built and designed. They set standards on how your staff are trained, what kind of experiences they have. They set standards on the nutrition and the medical care. It also means that they set standards on making sure that your organization is participating in conservation and education programs. It is a very rigorous process. The standards that the AZA sets are really the absolute highest in the world. So if you're at an AZA zoo, you know that the animals are well taken care of and that the people there are doing things to support conservation and education as well.
I do think it's really valuable for people to understand, again, just by coming to an AZA zoo, you're helping animals in the wild. The role that AZA zoos has is to maintain an assurance population. That means between all of the 200-some zoos, we keep really close track of the genetics. There are some species where the animals that are bred at zoos are actually released back out into the wild. Species that have very low numbers in the wild. American red wolves, there are only about 20 left and they're critically endangered. There are programs where pups from the zoo are going back out into the wild to try to repopulate those areas before we lose them. People who know more care more, and that personal relationship you can develop with an animal can really make a difference. And when you meet a penguin and when you feed a penguin, you're more inclined to care that penguins, their populations in the wild has plummeted by like 77% in just the last 30 years. I mean, that hits you harder if you have a friend who's a penguin.
Really, our goal is to help people get to know the animals on a personal level. When they interact with them, they feel that connection, they fall in love with them.
I enjoy coming out here just as much as my children did, and we have generation after generation coming out here because they remember what they saw when they were little. So that's our future. That's our future. If we get the children to love this place, it'll be here forever.
You're immersed in the history. It's hard to get away from it. If you take a walk up on our canopy tour here, we've got a lot of nice graphics up there about the history of the place. If you head over to the adventure park, you be wild in the zoo, but then you can be wild and you can act like a monkey out at the adventure park. The observation tower, civil defense tower from way back when this was a prison camp, now you can jump off of it with a zip line. There's just, you're immersed in history and it's fun.
The thing that sometimes people don't understand is that when people are committed to things, it's not for themselves. It's because they think they've gotten a project going that's going to benefit the community.
You're not going to find something like this in Wisconsin, period. It is a truly unique property that is really, it's well-rounded. You can spend a full weekend out here and you don't have to leave the property.
Aurelia was a true visionary, and she visualized just what you see today. Brown County can be really, really happy to have this. So it's a great place. It's a great place.